England. So we went around, we took one trip to Europe, like, acha, Europe ढूंढ के आते. No, for me still, I haven't traveled abroad as much as I would like to. I've traveled on holidays, but you know, factory visits, I haven't done as much as I would like to. So चले गए, I said, okay, let's visit 4 people. Then I said, who's the best in this business? They said a company called Morgan Stanley, which was not even on our target, because the best would be too expensive, not on our target. I said, नहीं उनको तो मिले यार. So Sweden, I said, I've never been to Sweden. So the target was to visit Sweden, see the best company. वहाँ देख के ऐसे यही machine खरीदी. I told my team, if that's the best, that's what we want. We were mentally prepared to pay 15% premium on this company compared to the others. So then the negotiation started and so on. I was on holiday in the US. My team was doing the negotiation. So there's a fair called METEC which happens in Germany once in every 4 years for all machinery. So that's where all the people were there, negotiations going on. Last 2 were left, we had eliminated the others earlier. They said, sir, आप भी METEC आ जाओ एक दिन के लिए. So I just came back from the US, dropped my family, spent 1 day in the office, again went to Germany for a day. Then I told my team, I met both the suppliers, so they knew I was there, so they knew we were serious, we'll finish. Then I told my team, यार आप लोग करो. मैं क्या करूँगा वहाँ पे जाके negotiate करके. So my team did the negotiation. I said, I'm sitting out here, so I walked around the stall. I said, I'm coming to METEC for the first time. Let me watch the stalls. Quickly खत्म हो गया. Then I said, okay, let me sit down, relax. The sun outside, I sat in the sun. Then came back. Still they were still at it. I had not got any book with me, nothing with me. So I actually sat on a chair for 1 hour, just waiting for them to call. They called, they negotiated. I went back and shook the hand. We actually paid 15% less than the competing company when we were prepared to pay 15% more. Now, if I would say I am the MD of the company, for a small company, 70, 80 crores is huge. It was the gross block of the company till then. 85 crores the gross block of the unit. It's a 20 euro. That was the gross block. That is one equipment I'm negotiating. And my team did it. I just went, I said, shook hands, I said, okay, that's it. So it was nice to shook hands, photo op. The point is, that is how people, succession planning happens. That people are good, nobody is perfect. We are all looking for the perfect guy to come in. My question is, have you looked in the mirror lately? Have you looked in the mirror lately? Are you perfect? If I'm not perfect, how can the next guy be perfect? So the point is, you have to take people with their pluses and minuses. Normally people focus on the minuses of people, I focus on the pluses of people. And people deliver fantastic. So they negotiated, if I had gone to negotiate, I'm sure paid 5 crore rupees more than what we ended up paying.
No question.
Thank you, Uncle, for your support.
Actually, I could recollect one quote when we read in graduation times and all that, and we have practiced it, and today practically he's talking on that only. That is, you give a man a fish, he will eat it. You make the man run fishing, he will feed his family. That's...
So the team did a fabulous job.
Can I supplement certain things?
Of course, sir.
Just supplement. I've known Sachin for ages. I've known his dad when he just joined the railways. I was way back, some 50 years ago on the railways. So that's when I met his dad as a youngster. So, few things which let me supplement. When we began PTL here, I came in to implement PTL, totally Indian design. And money had to be raised by me, and we didn't have a penny to period. That's beginning 1970 May. I used to say I must make 100 crore company the next 10 years. Can you believe it? Precisely the same thought. And we were that time 11 competitors, mostly CKD. We were totally Indian from day zero, period. And we did. We were something like 800 crores in 10 years, and when we were approaching that, we said next 10 years, 1,000 crores, period. No questions asked. Everyone, my colleagues, I am employee number 2 of PTL. Before that, before me, there was only the Chokidar. And they say, are you mad? Everyone said, paisa hi kana jeb nahi, paisa ikkatte karne hain, nobody is going to finance this company and this type of story and talking about it. Okay, fair. But then an entrepreneur, when he sort of first success, we declared the first dividend in 1978 PTL. And very rough time, 10 years to get this thing going. I mean, 10 years. But when we declared but then once success comes in, you really go crazy. I mean, let's be very clear about that. And that's what I was expanding below. We had expanded 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 tractors, money coming in 1982 came the crash, total crash. RBI applied the brakes on the credit and the whole company, the whole country, tractor industry was in a mess. And PTL was the worst sufferer. Because in this euphoria of growth, expansion, new models, all sorts of things, I lost track of quality. We had 1,700 tractors in the yard, 1,700 tractors in the yard. Vendor payments delayed by 1 year. And they were generally, they thought, he's out for on the half. And that's when I learned about, I'd been studying Japanese TPM intensively over the years. That's when he got into TPM in 1982-83. The first company in the country to get onto TPM systematically was Punjab Tractors. Same story, leadership, all that story will be more details. So by 1992-93, we were zero debt company. Our equity had been multiplied, bonuses all the way around, and dividends multiplying. We were the most highest dividend payer, best four-wheeler company in the country, all that nonsense started. And despite the crisis, the terrorism, 91 we had that major terrorist attack in which 28 of my colleagues were shot out in bus incident. And we were directly out in the, because it was a feeder to the entire group, PTL, Swaraj Engines, Swaraj Mazda, Swaraj Combined Division, one by one. And we looked after them, everyone got back, luckily. The whole country stood by us, everyone stood by us. And we moved on smoothly. So this is one part. The one thing which he said, delegation, most important part, trust. Not only delegation, it's also trust. And that's why I was the freest man in the whole company, no question asked. I was guiding around all over the country, venture capital, IDPI, FCI, this thing, venture promotion, CI, AIM, all nonsense. But I had no end. Second part, another part which I think, all of you should remember, this computerization has gone a bit too thick, in the sense that the amount of feedback that you get every day is just colossal. I've seen it today happening with all sorts of industries, daily feedback. What are you going to do with the daily feedback? A CEO doesn't need a daily feedback. He looks at trends once a year, once a month, and acts. Every time you try and take some action, it is for results. Am I moving up the track? Am I moving up the growth? Is my profitability improving? I'm just looking at trends. If something steps I've taken, I plateau out, that means this is not paying. I must change tack. So you all the time got to be sensitive to do things like that. That's one part of the story. And I'm very happy to, last 10 days was such an old colleague, PTL, I haven't met him for the last 50. I'm out of PTL now for 15 years. 97, I called it a day and have been fooling around, all sorts of things. But this chap comes the other day, 10 days ago, walks in. I said, he had joined us as a worker in the assembly line in 1972-73 and retired some 4 or 5 years ago in PTL. So he said, I came, I said, "Kahan se aa rahe?" He said, I am works manager in JC Coach. He said, when I joined, my total salary was 333 rupees. And when I retired in 2005 or 2006, my salary was 33,000 rupees. That's the growth which had taken place in a period of 30 years. Okay, inflation in that period maybe 10 times, 15 times. But rest was all improvement. And he said, my children are settled, one is here, one is here. I mean, the whole outlook is totally different. So you've got to be a part of the whole group. And that is the sort of thing which I think Sajid is saying it again and again. The possibilities are immense, there's no question about it. And today, if you look at the chaos, and my whole exercise today is to promote entrepreneurs in this part of the country. Because not only here, all over, promoting manufacturing enterprise is the only thing which can create Not IT will only create a certain group of urban.
Grassroots has to come.
Grassroots has to come, and grassroots lies in the village. And today, if you look at the economy, it's totally service industry dominated. More than 55% GDP is service industry. That doesn't provide jobs. It provides jobs only to an elite few, not the whole bunch. So these are sort of things which I thought, since all of you are here, might as well. Sorry for chipping in. You go ahead.
We have 7 more minutes for any question that anyone may like to ask. I think a lot of our queries have been, taken care of. We go from here with a lot of very thoughts which are very common sense, but which are uncommon for us all the time. But you wanted to ask something?
Yeah, just one thing, Sachin. It's very difficult. Like all the successful stories are there with us, but it can never come without criticism, right? And I understand you have, even yourself related that there is a lot of criticism and all that. How you mentally, or rather spiritually, you have taken it and you have been tough. Yeah. How you have adjusted with yourself and you have come again on a desk with a new energy the next day.
See, it's been tough, but the main thing which has helped me going on, one, support from my immediate family. My wife has been a very big support. For us, the biggest challenge was in a already successful organization, built by a successful entrepreneur who is very successful and done a great job. Then you come in with a different style. So there were intergenerational clashes, which were bound to be there. But I was also a very stubborn kind of person. There is a particular way I like to work, and that is the only way I like to work, which is by involvement of people. And rest of our group culture was every Sunday you're supposed to come. You're supposed to have all facts on your desk, tips anytime. I would have no facts. No, I was just the opposite. So anytime the chairman would call, what's happened about this? I said, I will get back to you. I hardly recall once that I've been able to satisfy him. He's asked something and I had the answer. And that it happened just by chance that I talked about that thing, so I had the answer. So in a sense, I was the exact opposite of the way the culture of the group was. Basic values were identical. Basic values, respect for people, respect for quality, continuous productivity, national pride, money is not that important, it's not the main thing. Those were common. And most people find it that on these basic things, normally is when generational differences happen. But on that, you are identical. How to operate style, diametrically opposite. So, it was tough. But luckily, my team supported me wherever I was. And my biggest problem was I could not reward somebody. So I didn't have the power to reward or punish, which is the levers with which people work. I could not reward anybody. Everything I could be a recommending authority. That I could recommend. Even as ED of the company, I had no powers to reward anybody. Okay. I could only recommend. And there were cases where people, I said, it's brilliant. No, but if you are recommending authority, you are recommending authority. So people knew that I had no power. And if I said this guy is not up to the mark, I could do nothing about it. So that was tough, that if somebody has done a great job for you and you want that person to be rewarded and you have no hand in that, those were tough to handle. Yeah. So I think the biggest satisfaction now that I have my own company to run is if I want to reward somebody, and reward could be anything. Money is not the only part. I want to send somebody for training. I have just sent 2 people to train for training to Japan. One of them, everybody has gone abroad. And then going to Japan, also like his whole family, everybody is thrilled. So many people who didn't have passports in a steel company have all traveled abroad, ek baar, do baar in the last 7 months. These are the things where you want levers. I want to reward somebody, sending for a training program. Okay, a fair medtech, only our chief executive used to go. Or once our VP production had gone. He said, I have gone once. He sent a member of 6-member team to go. Purchase wala, I will tell him, that is a kind that, the liberation that happens by just visiting her, I think that will be very satisfying.
See, the Dhyana culture of entrepreneurs, the entrepreneur is period. Everything is one man period, no question, no delegation.
Today you have all broken my all that myth about that Vardhan group, because today I have been thinking about it as a La group, but today it is no more a La.
But it is not. It is not.
So,
even if you come across Vardhaman, the kind of system that are there, what had already was there in the textile industry, it is respected worldwide.
Yeah.
So in our industry, we are amongst the world leaders, and we have been amongst the world leaders for the last 20 years, even before I came to the group. So it would be incorrect of me if I have conveyed the message that I have transformed the group to this thing. The group was already a very strong group. It was already acknowledged across the country in our industry. We are a low profile group, so outside our industry people don't know us. I'll give you an example. Before I joined Vardhaman, I had chairman had decided, I did a month and a half training in a friend of his textile plant in Ahmedabad, who was also director of the company. So I went there. They just said this guy is going to put up a new spinning mill in the north, so that's why he's training me. So this deputy spinning master, he takes me aside. Then said, north mein ja rahe ho na, Vardhaman zarur jana. So I said, क्यों भाई वर्धमान में क्या है? साहब वर्धमान के systems ऐसे जबरदस्त हैं, वो तो मशीन की मेंटेनेंस ऐसे करते हैं, ये करते हैं, वो करते हैं, वर्धमान जरूर जाना। So I am saying, let me correct the impression if that has gone through. Vardhaman under Mr. SP Voswar as chairman was already by far the most professional company in this industry across the country, and in the Punjab region across industry one of the most professional companies. My approach is different from my chairman's, but it doesn't mean that he was in any way less professional. Can you believe, for a big industrialist, as an arranged marriage, many people think that no, we met somewhere, but I am a middle class person. His only daughter, a big industrialist marrying his only daughter in an arranged marriage to a person who is middle class, son of a government officer. Can you think of that? Only somebody who has the highest respect for education. That was the only criteria, education.
Both the parents asked me, is that
golf, it has been squash, and now he's running in a marathon very soon.
Okay.
I just mentioned that, I got motivated. Some of my friends are running marathon. My sister-in-law ran this marathon.
Yeah.
So I said, "Bhabhi bhag liye to fir." So I just mentioned my wife and all that, कि I'm thinking.
The same motivation your workers got that ambition that no way the year after will be doing.
So I just mentioned, I'm thinking of my wife promptly. Yasho's wife, Anu's birthday.
Yeah.
She announced every success running the next half marathon. So it's public. So now it's on public. So I've started. So I've moved up to 8 kilometers.
Okay.
So the idea is to gradually move up to 21.
Well, let's have a huge round of applause for his past, current, and future.
Yeah. Work are written in this book, ready for takeoff, by Rupa. I genuinely urge you to buy the book and read it. It has helped several people, several companies. After the MD or the chairman has read the book, they have bought 50, 100 copies for their managers. One company actually bought 2,500 copies. So, and this is the MD of one of the large financial institutions in the country. After he read it, he's ordered that. So, and my only purpose for this book is to spread this message and treat your people nicely, and you can be successful. I want to spread that across every manager, every owner in the country. So it is a mission that I have, and that is why anywhere somebody calls me, I am